Hey, what's going on? This is Fred Smith over Signal Clarity, and I have a question here. How do you actually break your bad habits? Well, it's a good question. Question is, how's your environment? That'll be the easiest way to answer that question, because your environment you can become a product of. And also, how is your programming? Because there are beliefs that you're still holding on to that are deeply embedded in your subconscious that are not allowing you to win. So, in order to understand what is serving you and what's not serving you, we're going to have to take a look at exactly what's currently going on right now and where you'd like to go. And that way, we'll be able to really determine, to see factually whether or not a habit is good or bad. And the only way that we can do that is to get on the same page. And how do we do that? We use a dictionary. So I'm going to do that real quick, because a lot of people make this stuff super hard. The hard part is really being able to accept the fact that we're so used to losing that we don't know how to win. You can look around your environment right now, you'll see more evidence of losing versus winning. If you see that, that means that you possibly have a bad environment, or you have some bad habits that have subconsciously penetrated your effort mechanisms. And as a result of that, your effort mechanisms are failing. What would be that? Well, you getting up, you being able to confront things, you being willing to learn, you be willing to observe, you being willing to study. A lot of these things are effort mechanisms designed to really keep you moving no matter what. I don't have to worry about my heart beating all the time, right? I'm not consciously thinking about, okay, beat now, beat now, beat now, beat now. And that's pretty much how habits work. There's something that was said or done that you've picked up along the way that may or may not be serving you right now, that's still running in the background of who you were versus who you're trying to become. So let's take a look at the word habit. And anybody can do this. You can go to dictionary.com. And there's going to be a lot of definitions, so we have to find the one that fits us. Now, for the sake of time, I've had a chance to really look at all of this stuff. But just to give you an example of it, this one's a noun. It's an acquired behavior pattern regularly followed until it has become almost involuntary. That heartbeat example, right? And then you have one characteristic, bodily or physical condition. We're not talking about that. The attire worn by a rider of a saddle horse, definitely not that. Here's one that's interesting, though. A learned behavioral response that has become associated with a particular situation, especially one frequently repeated. So that's how you can uncover a lot of this stuff for starters. You really want to start doing self-help? Well, learn how to really use a dictionary. That'll be a good start. But I want to take it a little bit deeper, and let's look at the etymology dictionary. There is one, and I'll actually post links to both of them, because we should not be charging $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on just to be able to look at a definition. Okay, this is getting out of hand with all of this high ticket stuff. Now, here's what's interesting. Wow. Now, this may not have anything to do with how the word is being used today, just so you know. I like to look at an etymology dictionary simply because I'm a writer, and I like to look at the origins of things. So in this particular case, which is interesting, characteristic attire of a religious or clerical order. Definitely not what we're looking for here. Condition, demeanor, appearance, dress. Definitely not what we're looking for here. So habit is a custom continually so steadily as to develop a tendency or inclination, physical or moral, to keep it up, as the habit of early rising, the habit of smoking. Habit and practice apply more often to the acts of an individual. There you have it. You just have to look a little bit to see which definition fits your current situation. And now this just validated exactly what I just told you. So let me add just a little bit more to this. Because see, if you happen to be in the woo-woo lane, you understand that thoughts lead to feelings, lead to actions, lead to results. That's that acronym TFAR, right? So based on these current definitions that anybody can look up, one thing that that process of manifestation is missing is programming. The programming leads to those thoughts, lead to the feelings, lead to the actions, lead to results. And that's exactly what's going on right here. So now your homework assignment is to look around your environment and see what's causing you to lose. Look inside of yourself and see what's causing you to lose. Look around you to see whether or not you're thinking right or you're thinking wrong, because there is a certain way and we have to be able to accept that. Because if you see the fact that you have a bad habit, then obviously you're thinking wrong, but you want to be able to think right. So you have to think ideally, which means in the next 1 year, no more than 3 years, where do you want to really be? Who do you really want to become? What do you really want to do so that you can have what you want to have? This is where the real work is done. So this is how you begin breaking a bad habit, is by first identifying what they are. Because once you start identifying them, then that raises your awareness. And then once that raises your awareness, then you can start having more choice as to what you need to start in your life, what you need to change in your life, and what you need to stop in your life. So another exercise, and I'll drop down here, is you can simply look at the Marine Corps leadership traits. JJ did tie buckle. That's another one of my previous videos. But this whole process is just that. It's a process. So you want to set up an environment to where you're continually winning. Every single day you want to look for wins. Every single day you want to develop wins. Every single day you have to really start turning this ship around 1 degree at a time. And then through just consistent practice and repetition, you'll start getting where you need to go. But you can't do it alone. You need people by your side. You need people who are going to listen to you. You need people who are going to help you get the product, which is, in this particular case, change a habit. A lot of people want to go to page 10, but we have to start at page 1 and sometimes even 0 so that we can level things out. So that's all I wanted to say on that. Once again, a lot of red meat, but I'm here to help, happy to serve. And please, if you have any questions or thoughts, love to hear them. Drop your comments. Much love. Check out the channel. And again, if you want to check out our school group, more than happy to have you over there. Thought Leader Academy and more. Peace.